What is up, guys? This is Rollin' Dirty coming back to you with another video, and today I'm riding the Inmotion V12 High Torque. Now this is along a river in Washington State. Kind of a neat little view, which is why I'm starting out here. First time I've been on this trail, so I'm taking it a little easy. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today were some of the things that I learned while riding the Inmotion V12. And number one, as with all unicycles, loose material is not your friend. If you find yourself in deep, loose gravel, and I mean just an inch or two sometimes, if the wheel torques on top of that, it will push that material out of the way, and it can cause you to lose control of the wheel. Normally I'm going a little slower when this happens, so it's not that big of a deal, and I can catch myself, but this did happen to me today. In a couple of spots. Another thing that I experienced today, and here in Washington State it's fall like it is in much of the United States, but in the fall here we get a lot of moisture, even just as dew overnight. And I was taking it up a trail, and the trail had some tree roots on it, which in the summer would not have been a problem, but without hitting those roots straight on with some speed, the tire slips on them. So I slipped and ended up having to catch myself in the ground again. So I wanted to get on some pavement, and I took this ride down an agricultural road that leads to a lot of farms. There's also a golf course down here. I wanted to see how it felt to be on pavement again, just as far as at speed. Now, I wasn't really watching the speedometer while I rode, but in EUC world after the fact, the GPS speed was almost 34 miles an hour. So, you know, as far as stability is concerned, I feel pretty stable on it. There is a learning curve every time I get on the wheel after riding the Sherman, for example. The smaller diameter tire is far more nimble and agile and doesn't take as much to turn it, so you got to get used to that again while you're riding it. But you know, I don't see any reason why anybody couldn't ride this wheel comfortably after learning it. Now, in a recent Saturday night ride, just yesterday actually, somebody was riding the V12 high speed with the, original rim. And I'm not sure that the newer rim would have saved them, but, the agility of this thing makes it a lot of fun. And you can do a lot of cool stuff on it because it's so agile. And on that ride, one of our fellow riders was kind of, enjoying his while riding on the streets of Seattle. And there was a really weird parking curb type thing off the side of the road, like next to the bike path, that looked out of place, but nonetheless it was there, and he nailed it straight on and broke his rim. I mean, it sounded pretty bad. It probably would have broke the upgraded rim too, based on what it sounded like. Anyway, just things you got to be careful of. Sometimes the cities are nice, but there can be some unintended consequences if you're not, fully aware of your surroundings while you're rolling around, especially if you're, doing tricks and stuff that move you in all kinds of different directions, sometimes at speed. So I like riding in the city, but I really enjoy riding in the country. It's just part of the reason I got into the electric unicycle was simply just to go see more without having to walk there, because I don't have time to do the hiking that it would require to see all the sights I want to see. And so the unicycle shortens that and allows me to see everything I want to see and go the places I want to go, in most cases without having to hike there. Now this trail coming up here is one I wanted to give the V12 a chance on, just because I'd been down it before on another unicycle, which wasn't really designed. I ended up turning around coming back out. But there's a lot of river rock and loose material on this trail. And as you can see, it's pretty bumpy. Caused you to skip around a little bit. But I wanted to give the V12 a shot on this, and I think it did a great job. I wouldn't bring the Sherman down here. The pedal height is just not there. But I didn't worry at all about the pedal height here on the V12. And after the first initial rocky area, it actually turned into a more smoother dirt surface, which had roots and stuff, but nothing that I couldn't get over. But what you're seeing here is my first time on this trail. I have not ridden this trail this far previously, so I'm taking it a little easy just because I don't want to run into a stump like that one that I just passed, or eat it somewhere else. Also, there's a possibility you could run into pedestrians along this trail too, so I didn't want to come around a corner and plow into somebody. Now, I'm not sponsored by E-Rides, but I just want to point out that I'm using the E-Rides side pads here, and they are, I think they're great. I got them on the Sherman too, and they've got just enough lock-in feel, but enough freedom to get your foot out if you need to. And I felt great the whole time on this trail with those pads. I think they really do the job. They're a little hard to fit on the V12. There's not as much surface area on the V12 to put your pads on, but I was able to get them on there, and I've got pretty big feet, so I imagine anybody else could. Here's that loose material again. Always a little sketchy.